Hey guys, so we've had the last live stream now from the Funcom guys, and they showcased the mid to end game, mainly the deep desert stuff. A lot of interesting ideas here. And one thing that occurred to me while I was watching this is you can see here the sector A9, and obviously this is going to be another sector, and then you can see the line divisions here for the others. That there's the opportunity here to have some kind of tool or something similar to be able to give this information to more than just a couple of people. So here they are demonstrating in this video about surveying an area, creating a sync map, and then taking it back to your base and giving it to somebody, trading it to somebody, or putting it on the exchange, whatever it actually is. And that's quite a time consuming process, especially if you've just got one group of scouts that are doing this. That's, four people on each on their own ornithopter that's doing maybe, I don't know, 100 kilometers an hour. It's 24 kilometers long, 24 kilometers wide. That's going to take them around, 15 minutes just to fly in one row. Not to mention, they've got to land on the top of one of these peaks, get the probe launcher out, send the probe up. So, you're probably talking about another minute, maybe 2 minutes per segment to actually survey these areas. So, that's going to be nine tiles long. That's going to be another, 9 to 18 minutes on top of the 15 minutes to go there. You're talking over 30 minutes just to survey this one area. So I'm thinking, what can we do so they don't have to, keep creating these charts? And I'm pretty sure you need to stand in one place, create the chart each time, and then maybe there's a cost to these charts as well. And I know it's going to be dedicated to like a specific group of people scouting these, and it's going to be their job to do it. But I'm just thinking, is it really that efficient to be creating all of these sync charts for all of your guild all the time? Maybe you just need to create one or two and you sell it on the exchange. But then how are your guild going to get that information? So I started thinking about it and I thought, okay, there's the potential for a tool here. So I started mapping it out and I did it in Excel. So I was like, okay, let's have a quick look at this. We've got the 3x3 grids that they were talking about, which is 100 people per grid, maximum of 300 people per deep desert. And they explained why they did that. If some people are up here, then you get 100 in each of these zones. That's 300 people here, and you can't get out or something like that. But that's a different conversation. So I started looking at this and thinking about, well, what can we do so you don't have to create sync charts for each one of these and then give it to 28 of your friends just so they can see, okay, what's actually in the deep desert. So I went online and created a website where people could plot where they've been, what they've done, and have it some kind of responsive so they can upload an image and notify people of what they've actually got. So this is the website I've made. There's a lot of other, like, I say useful, semi-useful. You got like a base power calculator that you can, put specific things in. Maybe a recycler, blood purifier, repair station, and over here it'll tell you, well, you're actually down by 50, so okay, we need a second generator. And it'll give you a rough, it's just something to mess about with until actual launch, but it could help some players kind of wanting to set up their small subfeats around the map. It could be useful for them, but some of the other ones like vehicle components, you could click on that and it tells you, okay, it takes whatever it actually takes to create it. I don't think the calculation's in for duraluminum yet, so the total water is not true for the tier 5 and 6. But I think it is for tier 4. Yeah, so about 75,000 water and a lot of aluminum ore for the Mark IV Scout. But again, that's another tool. But there's a few other useful things there. What I wanted to show was this. So it was kind of like this in Excel, but then I brought it into React and started playing with it. So obviously it's got its grid references in the top left. What the zone is, so PvE or PvP, which I think everyone's going to know pretty much straight off the bat. And then I've got a little status indicator. So you can click on any one of these, and obviously it's just going to bring up the standard map. You can choose to add on icons to it and then give a bit of a detail. But then you can upload a file. So what they were showing here,
and then we're going to open it. So this is changed to other.
the deep desert.
We're going to see 3 weeks of Coriolis.
This is one of the map sections that they showed after the Coriolis storm had reset it, and then they go on to show another couple of versions of it where, you know, some of these things move around. So I just took a few of those screenshots for now, and I started uploading them just to plot it out. And this is kind of what I got. So you can see here that the status indicator has gone green to say that it has been mapped, it's been plotted, somebody's been there. And you can add a little description as well that comes up in the tooltip. For like this one in D6, you can now see that somebody's identified that Ecolabs number 28 is there. They've even been through it and realized that the drill shot rifle schematic drops in there. And there's also a wreckage of the Millennium Falcon in this case. So you can also click on it and see the larger map. So you can see, okay, this is an area that I want to go to because I want that drill shot rifle. You know, it's got the wreckage there to get some parts and stuff like that. But there's also, you know, they can upload absolutely nothing and it just ends up being sand, because they did say that, you know, some of these places, they are just going to be sand. Not every one of these grids is going to be filled with something like, you know, the eco labs or a wreckage or a control point, etc. So some of these will just be blank, and obviously as they're scouting past or they're flying through it, they probably don't need to launch a probe because they can see that there's nothing there. But then when they do get somewhere, you know, like this, they can see, okay, well, there's a few camps. They could put there's a few camps in there. Got 2 eco labs. I know I've only wrote one here, but it's just an example. And this updates for everybody. So currently it's behind a password, so it's only for my guild right now. But any of the scout team can just log in, upload it, you do a refresh of the page, and now it's active for everybody. Everybody can come to this website now who's on my world and in my guild, and they can see what has been scouted so far this week. And then obviously at the end of the week, I can go into my admin dashboard and I can reset the deep desert. It's going to rename the current folder where everything is saved. So all of the images, all of the JSON files where I'm actually holding this information, like the icons that are here and the details that they've uploaded, the little info tooltip that you can see on the mouse. It'll save that to a folder, and then it'll just recreate me a new folder called Deep Desert where people can have a blank slate like this again for the start of the week, and then can start exploring, uploading, and hopefully populate it by the end of the week. I did think about this a little bit more, and maybe you could have, you know, a little drop down menu here where you can choose your world, and then anybody who's playing this game could come here and upload it. But I decided against it because, I mean, one, I would need some kind of AI to show that, okay, it's a sandy map that they're trying to upload and it's not some kind of rude image or something like that. And I thought, well, I don't really know how to program AI to do that. So the other alternative is they can upload something, but it needs approval. So it'll stay like this until I go in and check it and say, okay, it's nothing but a sandy map. The comments are, you know, fine. Approve, it gets uploaded, and it populates the map for everybody's world. Problem with that is there's like 112 worlds in the beta. There's 81 tiles here. You know, that's several thousand, tens of thousands of maps that I would potentially need to go through each week. So I was like, let's not go with that idea, because also it's taken away from people's ability to sell these on the exchange as well. If you can just come here and see them for free, and you know exactly, okay, I need to avoid B6, C6, and just go straight to D6 or F3, you know, just beeline it straight there. It kind of removes an aspect of the game for them. But it would be beneficial for our guild, because not everybody's going to be playing all the time. You know, maybe somebody who's got kids, they can only play during the daytime when there's not many other people on, and they don't want to go into all this scouting, so they just, you know, come here, have a look, okay, Ecolabs, drill shot rifle, let's beeline it there, I'm going to get my rifle, get out, and then I can log off for the day. And I can see it being quite useful for us on a small scale. Maybe on a big scale there's arguments for it, but I don't, like I said, I don't want to take away from the exchange and people trying to make money from it. So still a work in progress. There's a few little hiccups with it. I just wanted to kind of gauge opinions on it from outsider point of view, whether it is something that's beneficial or not. I don't know. I think mostly I had fun making it. I'm super hyped for the launch that's, you know, in just a few days away now, and I just wanted to, you know, dedicate some time to actually working on it. So I think that was the main point of it. But I think for our guild, as long as people are using it, I think it could be quite useful. Maybe not, but it was fun to make. Either way, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in a few days when Dune actually releases, and I'll be releasing some more content to that. So yeah, thanks for watching.